Hi, I'm Kristin Omdahl. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to take 4 rows of beautiful crochet lace and turn them into motifs that you can join as you go. Not only am I going to show you how to do a 4-sided square motif, I'm also going to show you how to manipulate that into a 3-sided triangular motif, both worked in the round and joined as you go. And then I'm going to also show you how to create a triangular motif worked in rows. The reason I do this is so that you can create a variety of fabrics using these 3 motifs in that original 4 rows of beautiful crochet lace. Let's get started. We're going to start with the square, and then I'll show you how to join it to another square. So the first round is chain 5, join with a slip stitch to the first chain to create a chain 5 ring, chain 3, double crochet in the chain 5 ring, chain 2, and the next stitch is a 2 double crochet cluster. You're going to yarn over your hook, insert it into your chain 5 ring, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. You now have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, insert your hook in the ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. You now have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. The 2 double crochet cluster is complete. I'm going to chain 2, do another 2 double crochet cluster, yarn over your hook, insert it into the ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. We now have 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, insert your hook into the same ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. We now have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on the hook. And we're going to repeat this until we have 8 2 double crochet clusters in the ring and 8 chain 2 spaces. At that point, I'll show you how to complete the round. Did you see what I did just there, sliding the stitches over? When it seems like it's getting too tight in there to work your stitches, you just need to slide them over a little bit. The pattern is designed to work, so if it seems like it's a little tight, just make yourself a little more room. It's perfectly fine. Okay, we'll count now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need 2 more. Chain 2. The next 2 double crochet cluster goes as follows. Yarn over your hook, insert into the ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert your hook in the ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook. And got my yarn a little tangled up here. There we go. Okay, and we've got 1 more repeat to do for this round, so it's chain 2, yarn over, insert your hook in the ring, yarn over, pull through 2, 1 more time, and we're going to end with a chain 2, and you want to slip stitch your to the first stitch at the beginning of the round to join, so that would be this one here. Okay, the next round starts with slip stitch into the first chain 2 space, chain 1, single crochet in the same space. We're going to chain 9 and single crochet in the same chain 2 space. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Single crochet in the same chain 2 space. And then we have a chain 5, single crochet in the next chain 2 space, chain 5, single crochet in the next chain 2 space. Now the next part would be, actually this is now the repeat. You're going to repeat chain 9 single crochet, chain 5 single crochet, chain 5 single crochet, and you're going to repeat that around, except when you do the chain 9 you always want to do the second single crochet in the same space. So we're going to do chain 9, single crochet in the same chain 2 space, then chain 5, single crochet in the next chain 2 space, chain 5, and single crochet in the next chain 2 space. Now chain 9 and single crochet in the same chain 2 space, chain 5, single crochet in the next chain 2 space, and you probably see the established pattern here. So we're just going to continue and finish this around until we get to the last chain 5 space, and I'm going to do something slightly different there. Okay, this is where we would do our last chain 5 space, and we're going to do chain 2, double crochet to the first single crochet at the beginning of the round to join, and that gives us the same linear space as a chain 5 space. It's a chain 2 and double crochet, which also puts us in the top center of that space. So we're going to start the next round with a chain 1 single crochet in the chain 5 space, and then we're going to work 14 double crochets in the chain 9 space. Double crochet is as follows: yarn over your hook, insert your hook in the ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And I'll do that slowly a couple more times. Let me get some yarn out here. Okay, yarn over, insert your hook in the ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And when you're putting 14 of these in each of the chain 9 spaces, you're going to get lots and lots of practice. Let's see where we're at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here's a tip for you. If you're having trouble figuring out how many stitches you have in there, find something that looks repeatable in all the stitches. There are a couple places that you could do this. Do you see how there's a diagonal line in the middle of each of the posts of these stitches? Sometimes I'll count that diagonal line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we have 8 so far. Or another way to count them is by the top V. See that kind of like a V stitch shape at the top of the stitches, and it almost looks like it sits flat on the top side there. What you can do is count those, and always remember you don't count the loop that's on your hook. That's never counted as a stitch. So now this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See how this one is actually the top of the single crochet, and it looks, the top is the same but the bottom is different. That's how you can tell that it's not the same type of a stitch. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we'll continue on. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14 double crochets in the chain 9 space. Next is a single crochet in the next chain 5 space, chain 5, single crochet in the next chain 5 space, and then now we're going to work 14 double crochets in the next chain 9 space. And you just want to repeat this all the way around. And at the end, we're going to replicate the last chain 5 space similarly to the last round with a chain 2 double crochet in the first stitch at the beginning of the round. So when we get there, I'll show you what to do. As you can see here, we've come to the end of the round. We did chain 1 single crochet, then we did 14 doubles, single crochet, chain 5 single crochet, 14 doubles, single crochet, chain 5 single crochet, 14 doubles, single crochet, chain 5 single crochet, 14 double crochets, and single crochet. Now what I want to show you is how we replicate the last chain 5 space with a chain 2, single crochet or double crochet into the first stitch at the beginning of the round to create our last chain 5 space, which puts us in the position of being in the center of the chain 5 space and at the top. So we're going to chain 1, single crochet in the same space, and I'm going to show you the last round. It starts with skipping, well actually we started with single crochet, skip the first double crochet in the next double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the next double crochet, chain 1, double in the next double, chain 1, double in the next double, chain 1, double in the next double, chain 1, double in the next double. We should have a total of 6 now. Let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, chain 3. And we're going to double in the next double crochet in the next double crochet. Chain 1. You want to do that a total of 5 times. And then double crochet in the next double crochet. We're going to skip the last double crochet, single crochet in the next chain 5 space, and that is our repeat. So it's single crochet in the chain 5 space, skip 1 double crochet, chain 1 5 times, then double crochet in the next stitch, chain 3, double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1. We're going to do that 5 times, double crochet in the next stitch, skip 1, single crochet in the next chain 5 space, and you want to repeat that around. I'll show you how we fasten this one off at the end. We've come to the end of the last round, and all that's left to do is to slip stitch to the top of the first stitch at the beginning of the round. So we're going to slip stitch into that first single crochet, cut our yarn, and fasten off. And that is the first square motif for this project. At this point, I now have 1 square motif completed and fastened off, and I have my second motif completed through round 3, 1, 2, 3. What I'm going to show you at this point is how we join the 4th round of our second motif to our first motif on one side. So in your pattern, this would be where it says a one-sided join. So we're actually going to start the round 4 exactly the same as the last motif, which is going to be chain 1, single crochet in the chain 5 space, skip 1 stitch, double crochet, chain 1 5 times, and then double crochet in the next stitch. Next would be in the other one, in the first motif, we did a chain 3. Now to do that on a joining round, a chain 3 is called a chain 1, slip stitch to the adjacent motif's chain 3 space, chain 1. So it's a chain 1, single, chain 1 that counts as the chain 3 space. So we're going to, with the right side facing of the finished motif, we're going to pick it up so that we're just peeling back to the wrong side, and we're going to slip stitch into the center chain of that chain 3 space, and then a chain 1, and then working back in our original motif, we're going to double crochet in the next stitch. Chain 1, double crochet in the next stitch. Now the pattern tells us to slip stitch in the adjacent motif's chain 1 space. So we did a chain 1 here, so we're going to skip the next chain 1 there. We're actually going to slip stitch in the second from the corner, second chain 1 space from the corner. And then we're going back to our original motif and double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, double crochet in the next stitch. Now we're going to skip the last double crochet, single crochet in the next chain 5 space, chain 2, 3. This is going to be the equivalent of the chain 7 space that we did on the first motif. It's a chain 3, slip stitch into the center chain of the adjacent motif's chain 7 space, chain 3, single crochet in the same chain 5 space, and then we're going to skip the first double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, double crochet in the next stitch. At this point we're going to slip stitch to the adjacent motif's chain 1 space, and this is the second from the corner. So slip stitch, we'll go back to the motif we're working on, double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, slip stitch into the chain 3 space on the adjacent motif, chain 1, and single or double crochet in the next stitch. Now I want to lay this flat so you can see the join. So basically what we've done is exactly the same stitch work as the round 4 of the original motif, but we've done it while joining. So in a few places what we've done is substituted a chain 1 with a slip stitch to join them. And now the remainder of this round will be in the established pattern that we did on the original motif, which you can refer to the chart, you can refer to the pattern, you can refer to the video. This is what we already went over in the last segment, so it's just the series of double crochets and chain 1s along the corners and single crochet, chain 7, single crochet in the chain 5 spaces. We'll skip the next double crochet and work our established pattern. And we're just going to work the established pattern around exactly the same as we did in the first motif. Next up will be two-sided joining. For this square motif, I'm going to join it on 2 sides. I'm going to join it along the side of this motif and along the side of this motif. Because these are already joined, they already share this corner, so we're going to join in this corner, one of the chain 1 spaces here, this chain 7 space, one of the chain 1 spaces here, this chain 3 corner, one of the chain 1 spaces here, in the center of this chain 7 space, chain 1 space here, and in the corner, chain 3 space here. And as we do that around, then we'll continue on the rest of this motif as we've already done with the established round 4 of the stitch pattern. So I'll show you how to get started. We're going to chain 1 and single crochet in the chain 7 space, or sorry, the chain 5 space. In fact, before we go any further, I want to explain to you, because we're starting our round in the middle of a side, we can't start joining right away. You have to join from corner to corner. So when we get to this corner, that's the first place we can even begin to entertain the idea of joining. You could either start at that corner, or this corner, but that would only be if you were joining on one side. So let's move on from there. I thought it was just a good point to mention. So we're going to start our pattern as established already in round 4. Skip 1 double crochet, chain 1 in each of the next 5 stitches. Double crochet in the next stitch. Now chain 3 is now going to become a chain 1, slip stitch into the center of the chain 3 on the adjacent motif, chain 1, double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, double crochet in the next stitch. Now instead of chain 1, we're going to come back over here, skip the first chain 1 from the corner and slip stitch into the second chain 1 from the corner. And then double crochet, chain 1, whoops, on our existing working motif. And we do that across, skip the last double crochet, single crochet in the next chain 5 space. Now our chain 7 is going to be chain 3, slip stitch into the center chain of the adjacent motif's chain 7 space, chain 3, and that chain 3 slip stitch chain 3 counts as our chain 7 space. Single crochet back into the chain 5 space. We're going to skip the first double crochet, or the next double crochet, and we're going to double crochet chain 1 in each of the next 3 stitches, right, and then double crochet in the next stitch, slip stitch into the corresponding chain 1 space on the adjacent motif. That counts as our chain 1. Working back in our working motif, we're going to double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the next stitch. Chain 1, slip stitch into the corner of the joined motifs, which is the center chain of the chain 3. Chain 1, so chain 1, slip stitch, chain 1 counts as our chain 3 corner. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, slip stitch into our adjacent motifs, chain 1 space. Now I'm going to set this down for just a second to show you we have now joined across the one side, joined in the corner. Now we're working on the second side of our two-sided join. And we'll come back now and double crochet chain 1 in each of the next 3 stitches. Double crochet in the next stitch. And we're going to do our single crochet chain 7, but because we're joining it, it's a chain 3. Slip stitch into the adjacent motifs center chain of the chain 7 space, chain 3. And now our chain 3, slip stitch, chain 3 counts as our chain 7 space, single crochet in the same chain 5 space. Skip the next double crochet, chain 1 in each of the next 3 stitches. Double crochet, slip stitch into the adjacent motifs corresponding chain 1 space, double crochet chain 1, double crochet, and we're going to replicate our chain 3 corner with a chain 1, slip stitch into the center chain of the adjacent motifs, chain 3 space, chain 1, slip stitch, chain 1 counts as our chain 3, and double crochet in the next stitch. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. We now have 2 sides. She'll get this back facing correctly. We have 2 sides joined, and now we're going to complete this round just in our regular round 4 stitch pattern. No more joining, it's just going to be the regular stitch. Next up, I'm going to show you how to make the triangle motif in rows, not rounds. We're going to use the same exact stitch pattern that we've established in the square motif in rounds, but work it in rows, and let me show you how to do that. So we're going to start with a chain 4, double crochet in the 4th chain from your hook, chain 2, we're going to work a 2 double crochet cluster in that same first chain, yarn over your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over your hook, insert it into the same chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook. Chain 2, we're going to do that for a total of 6 times in that same first chain. 6 times meaning 6 of the 2 double crochet clusters, which will give us a total of 5 chain 2 spaces. And this is a variation on working 8 of them in the ring, 2, 3, 4, 5, for the square. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clusters. Okay, the next row, we're turning our work over, slip stitch into the first chain 2 space, chain 1, single crochet in the same chain 2 space, chain 9, single crochet in the same chain 2 space, chain 5, single crochet in the next chain 2 space, chain 5, single crochet in the next chain 2 space. There's our repeat. So now we're going to chain 9, single crochet in the same chain 2 space, chain 5, single crochet in the next chain 2 space, chain 5, single crochet in the next chain 2 space, and now we're going to make an equivalent of a chain 9 by chain 5 and a treble stitch, which is yarn over twice, insert your hook into the same chain 2 space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And that's the equivalent of a chain 9 space, but puts us up in the center top of it. So the next row starts with a chain 3, and we're going to work 7 more double crochets in the same chain 9 space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Single crochet in the next chain 5 space, chain 5, single crochet in the next chain 5 space, and then we're going to work 14 double crochets into the next chain 9 space. Some of this may look familiar to you since we've been doing this in the square motifs. It's the same exact stitch pattern. The only difference is that we're working in rows, not rounds, with half repeats on either side corner and a full repeat in the center. And if that doesn't make sense, it's okay. Just follow along and follow the directions. For those of you interested in the design part of it, that's what I meant by that. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Single crochet in the next chain 5 space, chain 5, single crochet in the next chain 5 space, and double crochet 8 times in the last chain 9 space. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, now we are all set for doing our last round, and depending on where you are in your pattern or what you're doing with this motif, you could either join it on one side, join it on 2 sides, or make this your first motif. I'll show you an example. If I were going to join it to this section, I could join it on one side here, and then work it starting. We could join it here, or we could join it there, or let's say that these 2 pieces were together. Let's say those 2 were joined already. You could then join this one in the corner here as a 2-sided join, like I did with this one here. See how this triangle is joined on this side of this square and on that side of that square. So what I'm going to do is join it on one side with these 2 motifs, and then work the remainder of my row 4 without joining it. So we're going to start with 3 chains. Start with 4 chains. And then we're going to slip stitch into the chain 3 space on the adjacent motif. And when I say slip stitch into the chain 3 space, it really depends on your preference whether you're going to work into the actual large space or into an individual chain. My only suggestion is however you decide to do it, just make sure that you are consistent throughout your pattern. On chain 1 spaces like this, I usually go into just the large negative space between stitches, but on the corners and on side joins where they're very large chain spaces, I usually pick the center chain to actually slip into instead, simply because it has a much tighter join and just has a much smoother finish. You know, for people that don't knit and crochet, no one's going to know the difference in your finished sweater or your finished shawl. It's really just a personal preference for you. But see, on this chain 7 join, I worked into the center chain there instead of working into the very large ring. And the reason being on this one, for example, is that it'll slide around too much if it's not really connected inside a chain. So the next spot here, skip 1 double crochet. You already know this pattern. We've already done this a couple times. So I'm basically just going to finish it off here so you can see what it looks like. Because regardless of whether we're working in rows or rounds, the stitches are actually identical at this point. Round 4 and row 4 are identical in the center. It's just the corners or the sides that are slightly different. So I'll show you that at the end here. Again, we're going to work into the center chain of that chain 3 space. I find it to be a much smoother join. Home stretch. Okay, then we're going to skip the last double crochet, chain or single crochet, and then chain 7, single crochet, skip the next double, and we're going to work the pattern just as we did on the beginning of this row, but instead of doing a chain 3 to count as our first double crochet, we're going to just finish this off with a regular double crochet. So we've got our 6 for our established pattern, and then with chain 1, oh sorry, this is on the end so we don't need to join it. So it's chain 3, 2, 3, and double crochet in the last stitch. So now we have a triangular motif joined one-sided to a square motif. And then just to give you an example of what I'm talking about, remember how I said that in the corners, especially if you join in one particular chain rather than just in the big large space, it gives you a much tighter join. See how pretty that is? Each one of these corners of the motifs was all joined in one chain, the center chain of the first motif's chain 3 space. And I think that is such a pretty and neat join that's the example of why I choose to do it that way instead of just working into the large space. Now we're going to make the triangular motif that's worked in rounds. We're going to start with chain 5, slip stitch to the first chain at the beginning of the round to join, chain 3, double crochet in the ring, chain 2, we're going to work a 2 double crochet cluster in the ring, just like we've done previously in the other 2 variations of this motif. And that would be yarn over, insert your hook in the ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over your hook, insert your hook in the ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. You now have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook. So now we want to get a total of 6 of these 2 double crochet clusters in the ring, and just as a reminder, the chain 3 double crochet at the beginning of the round counts as our first 2 double crochet cluster. And slide it over to make room for our last one. Last 2 double crochet cluster, we're going to chain 2, slip stitch to the first cluster at the beginning of the round to join. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Set that down so you can see it. And we're going to slip stitch into the first chain 2 space, chain 1, single crochet in the same space, chain 9, single crochet in the same chain 2 space, chain 5, single crochet in the next chain 2 space, chain 5. I'm sure this is looking familiar at this point. We're doing basically the same as we did in the square motif worked in the round, except we're doing 3 repeats or 3 corners instead of 4 corners. And I'll show you what I mean by that when we finish this round. Chain 5, single crochet in the next chain 2 space, chain 9, single crochet in the same chain 2 space, chain 5, single crochet in the next chain 2 space, and then to count for our last chain 5, we're going to do chain 2 and double crochet in the first single crochet at the beginning of the round. And now I'm going to set this down so you can see we have 3 corners now instead of 4. Okay, we're going to start the next round with a chain 1, single crochet in the same chain 5 space. We're going to work 14 double crochets in the next chain 9 space. So basically we're doing nothing new here. This is exactly the same as we worked the 4-corner or 4-sided square motif, except we're doing 3 corners or 3 sides in the triangular motif. So go ahead and revert back to your pattern, revert back to the charts, whichever works best for you, and I'll show you what this looks like at the end of round 4. Okay, here we have our finished triangular round motif, and I wanted to show it to you side by side with the other motifs that we've already created. This is our row triangular motif, and this is our square round motif. So these two were worked in rounds, this one was worked in rows, and you can see how they're all very different shapes, very different looks, but ultimately it's the same exact stitch pattern, just worked in a slightly modified way. And combining these three is what can give you so many different variations of shape and style, like in the shawl. In this video description you can find a link to order the pattern and the charts to create the shawl in the pictures, or you can follow the link to order the yarn, which will also include the pattern for free. If you have any questions or suggestions for new videos, please leave them in the comments below.